Greetings, Americans! Boy, it sure is so lovely that now that the elections are over and your new overlord has been crowned. All hail King, yeah, that person sure won. Yep. So, now that the elections are over, you're probably wondering, well, what am I gonna do until the stormtroopers come and take me away? How am I gonna survive in this new world? Well, you're in luck, because this is the top 7 survival games. A show made especially for Americans that are now in fear for their lives, probably justified, who need information on how to survive in this new world that they've crafted with their own 2 hands and now refuse to lie in it. Games that may end up teaching you valuable lessons that will save your life. Probably not. Most likely not, but hey, depending on the result of the election, your country's done for. You're probably now in the midst of a civil war anyway, so chill and play some games. That being said, let's get it started with number 7, The Culling. Now, the game may have some issues being still in development, but it does give you a very interesting experience of how it is to exist in a world with very, very few supplies and where everybody wants to kill you. Now, sure, you can form alliances, temporary ones, or maybe you can buddy up with a friend, but in the end, you're gonna have to kill everybody else, or somehow lurk beneath some rubble, or you can hide in a bush till 9/11, or maybe you can pretend to be some shrubbery. Do anything you can to survive. Because at the end, you know the ones that killed everybody are probably not at full health, so you can backstab them like the bastard that you are. This game will give you a sort of a Battle Royale, Hunger Games vibe, mostly because that's what it's aiming to be, which is, you know, your current reality, so why not try your hand at it virtually first? Number 6, Scavenger. So scavenging is gonna probably be the main way you get resources now, and what better way to try out different scavenging methods than through a game like Scavenger. Now, this is a turn-based game, a very nice one that lets you explore a world that's gone through some very unpleasant incidents lately. The Illuminati killed Lincoln, and you'll have the ability to scrounge around for anything you can. Food, bandages, first aid, weapons, anything that's handy, anything that will let you live, survive. And it's quite a well-crafted game. Don't let the graphics deceive you. This is a very well-crafted game, which I recommend wholeheartedly. It is a very good survival sim. And it does have combat in it. Turn-based combat with a lot of options. Like, it probably has more options when it comes to combat than Wasteland 2 did, which honestly isn't saying much because the combat in Wasteland 2 kinda was not very good. But still, go and check out Scavenger before the scavengers shake you out. Number 5, Minecraft. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. The CIA killed JFK and Minecraft is already a global phenomenon. There's no reason for me to recommend it because you probably know it already. But hey, it's still a very good game for survival. At the beginning, at least. At the beginning, you are just freshly born into this world with nothing but threats in it. You have limited supplies. You have need of water, of health, of food. Actually, I don't know if you need water because I haven't played it in 5 years, but it does give you that sense of survival, that sense of this is a game that is challenging my very existence. This game is going to require me doing my best to just stay alive, not achieve something, but just stay alive. And of course, after the first night passes, you sort of realize that, yeah, you can probably do okay for yourself and even build a giant golden penis in which you can live safe and sound with the knowledge that no creature can ever attack you because they are afraid. Also because you put torches everywhere to illuminate the giant building you're in. Now, if you add other human players to the mix, because Minecraft can be a multiplayer game, then the survival factor goes up a bit because you're gonna have, you know, other people to deal with, and as the elections have taught us, well, have taught you, other people are horrible. Number 4, Project Zomboid. Now, sure, odds are there won't be zombies in your new post-apocalyptical hellscape of the United States of America yet, but why risk it? Go out and play. Well, no, not don't go out. Go in and stay in. Stay in. You don't want to know what's outside. Stay in and play Project Zomboid. Now, this is not your average zombie game. Well, it does have zombies in it, and you do have to collect resources, you do have to scavenge for food, you have to cook it, you have to get first aid, you have to get weapons, and, well, the game, or at least the demo, started with one of the most, like, absolutely most unexpected and unknown choices I've ever seen in a video game. Clinton is a lizard. You see, the game starts out with your partner having an injured leg, and you sit them down in a bed, and I thought to myself, hey, you know, I found this pillow. I'm gonna give them this pillow so they'll feel more comfortable, and, well, let's just say that the game had a completely different idea of what I actually wanted to do with a pillow, and it went dark in record time. Like, that game has a world record from turning dark. It didn't start out happy, cheerful, no. It was about as gloomy as your hellscape of a nation now, but it went super dark in a blink of an eye. You know, like tomorrow is gonna be for you. So you may as well try out Project Zomboid before the real zombies get you. Number 3, This War of Mine. Now, presuming that you are now in a state of civil war because your culture has an obsession with splitting everything down the middle, with polarizing everything with North versus South, East versus West, Republicans versus Democrats, Coke versus Pepsi, cocaine versus heroin, Trump is a Russian spy, with everything, you were probably now in a civil war again, and not the one with Iron Man and Cap. Again, even that one, you had two characters, two allies, and you made them fight because that's what you do, and you made people choose a side. So try this war of mine. This is another game where you have to scrounge for simple things like wood, to build yourself a chair, to build maybe a bed, to fill in the holes of the building you're now occupying that's been bombed to death and back. And eventually you will run out of food, there won't be any more supermarkets that you can raid, and you're gonna come up with a plan, a scheme to rob an elderly couple that's powerless to stop you, and they'll ask, they'll plead, and then you have a choice to leave, to let them be and starve, or take their food, or kill them. Yes, you can kill them and take their nice home. After all, at this civil war, they probably voted for the other person. Or worse, they voted for a third party. My god, when will they learn that choosing on their own is a crime? So give this war of mine a try. Now, it's not an actual accurate representation of a war, but in your case it may be. Number 2, the long dark. So let's face it, half of you are now trying the elections were rigged to emigrate to Canada. But the Canadians have probably built a wall to keep you out because I sure as hell would. So you're gonna have to go across the border, and it's November. November in the northern hemisphere, up north, very up north in Canada. So it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be freezing. There will be wild packs of dogs and wolves chasing you all over the place. And what better game to try out your survival skills than The Long Dark? A game about traveling through snow and ice, chased by wolves, freezing to death, dying of starvation, of dehydration, of lack of sleep, and just about everything else, hoping that you may actually live to see another day. You may or you may not. Still, you should give The Long Dark a try because, let's face it, you're probably not in any shape to actually run across the border. The Canadian mounted mooses will probably hunt you down and play hockey on your ass with maple syrup and do something with a beaver and then say sorry and give you access to public health care and bare naked ladies. I don't know, something else that's Canadian. And now, number 1, Stalker. Now, for those who don't know, Stalker is a series of video games that is sort of placed in the Ukraine, which just happens to now look like downtown Detroit, and soon I'm guessing Washington and New York and LA, Dallas, every place in the USA. And it is a very difficult survival game. It is one that has a heavy focus on combat and on not being killed by radioactive fallout, Rosebud, because, you know, things may happen depending on who has the button for the nuclear bombs, and if they intend to actually use them or are just Vladimir Putin on a show. Your nation may look right now like the exclusion zone from Stalker, a place ravaged by all sorts of aberrations of reality. Not that it wasn't before, but these aberrations actually cause damage. They can destroy humans, they can mutate creatures, they can bring about monsters. Sort of like you did with the election, but these monsters are the classical kind with tooth and claw and acidic spit, or maybe that was Fallout. Needless to say, it is a game that will require you to be very careful about how you proceed so you don't piss off any faction, any other stalker, anyone, and do your best to just survive. Well, that would be it for this show. I hope your house hasn't been looted while you were watching this. If it has, then hello looters! We were glad to be of service in keeping your victim busy while you were looting. If not, we do not support looting. So good luck in the future if you have one, and maybe you learned something important from this election. Is the dictatorship all that bad? Is it too late to ask the Queen to take us back? Do we really have to be 50 United States? Plus, you know, the other ones that you don't admit are states, but you still exploit them and you don't treat the people there as citizens, and there's the bombings and the, well, let's say, whoever's president, good luck, chump, you're gonna need it.
Thank you for watching this show. If you enjoyed it, please consider watching some of our other videos and maybe sharing them or giving a thumbs up if you feel like it. And if you really liked what you saw, please check out our Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you could help us make much better shows and get some rewards in the process. Or you could consider buying my book called Tale of Doom. Volume 1 is out now and available for just $2. And as always, if you thought it was horrible, you know where to find me and complain about it.